All rise. Mr. Arnott, will you lead us in the invocation?
Father, we thank you for the privilege that we have to bow before you again in prayer this evening. And we thank you for the privilege that we have to serve in the city. We ask that you would lead and guide, be with us in this meeting, give us wisdom, help us to work together and help us to serve one another and do for the good of this community, Lord. Thank you for all you do for us and all you've done for us, especially the day that you died on Calvary for us. We ask these favors, Lord, and you bless the holy, precious name.
Amen. Mr. Jones, will you lead us in the pledge of allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk Faulkner, will you have the roll call, please?
Steve Arnott.
Here.
Mike Scipio.
Here.
Doug Fleshman.
Here.
Greg Hudson.
Here.
Greg Wolf.
Here.
Connie Thompson.
Present.
Jim Hughes.
Here.
Linda Vargas.
I'm here.
The quorum being present, I declare the November 2nd, 2020 meeting of the Dunbar City Council in order. First item on the agenda is approval of the minutes of October 19th, 2020.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we accept the minutes of the council meeting for October 19th, 2020 with one correction on the motion that was made for the new roof on the pool building. We have a motion by Vargas, but I do not see a second in there.
Connie Thompson. Second.
Okay,
Yeah.
oh, well, it's not in the
Yeah.
minutes, and that's why I want to make sure. Okay, I make a motion that we accept with the correction of the new roof on the pool building, I'm sorry. Thompson will be the second on that motion, sir. As written.
Secondly.
There's been a motion by Councilman Fleshman to approve the minutes of the October 19th, 2020 council meeting with an amendment to show that Councilwoman Thompson seconded the motion made by Councilwoman Vargas on the installation of the new roof on the park shelter building. Any further comments, questions, or clarifications? Being none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is invoices for payment.
Mr. Chairman, at the finance meeting, we reviewed our invoices totaling $92,505.27. And based on that review, I make a motion that we pay those invoices.
Second.
There's been a motion by Councilman Hudson to approve payment of invoices totaling $92,505.27. Seconded by Councilman Scipio. Any questions, comments? Being none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Abstentions? None. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is second reading of ordinance 792.
Yes, Mayor. This is ordinance 792. This is a ordinance to raise the compensation of the city council president of the city of Dunbar. We are planning to raise it $50 more, which will bring it up to $175 a meeting.
So moved.
Second.
There's been a motion by Councilman Wolf to approve the second reading of ordinance 792, increasing the compensation for the city council president by $50 per month, per meeting. Was seconded by Councilwoman Thompson. Any further comments or clarifications? Being none, there will be a roll call vote.
Steve Arnott,
Yes.
Mike Scipio,
Like I said before, the council president is already compensated financially, so therefore I don't think it's needed, and I'm voting no.
Doug Fleshman,
Yes.
Greg Hudson,
Yes.
Greg Wolf,
Yes.
Connie Thompson,
Yes.
Jim Hughes,
Yes.
Linda Boggs.
Yes.
The roll call indicates that there's 7 for and 1 against approval with the second reading of ordinance 792, increasing the compensation for the city council president by $50. For the record, should note that Councilman Scipio voted negative or no on the ordinance. Passes on the second reading. Next item on the agenda is the second reading of ordinance 793.
Yes, Mayor, this is the second reading of ordinance 793, an ordinance to raise the compensation of the city council of the city of Dunbar. And this is a $50 raise per meeting, making it $150 for regular council people.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
So,
Yes.
there's been a motion by Councilwoman Thompson to approve the second reading of ordinance 793, increasing the compensation to the city council by $50 per meeting. Seconded by Councilman Fleshman. Any comments, clarifications?
Mr. Chairman, if I could just clarify, if anyone watched the last meeting, we discussed this, but to be clear, council and president all are only paid per meeting, which is averaging 2 a month. So that's how this is set up. And also it is every 4-year review. So if this would pass, that would be the fixed rate for the next 4 years. Council cannot adjust their pay during their term. So this is looking at the next term.
Any further comments or clarification?
And it is also extremely lower than the other local cities rates.
That is for sure. Okay, there'll be a roll call vote. Ms. Walker?
Steve Arnott,
Yes.
Mike Scipio,
Yes.
Doug Fleshman,
Yes.
Greg Hudson,
Yes.
Greg Wolf,
Yes.
Connie Thompson,
Yes.
Jim Hughes,
Yes.
Linda Boggs.
Yes.
For the record, all 8 voted in favor of approval of the second reading of ordinance 793. It passed. Next item on the agenda is approval to declare properties of the vacant property lots as excess property.
I make a motion to approve to declare the following vacant lots as excess property. 136 8th Street, 2105 Fletcher Avenue, 125 Marks Road, 215 West Virginia Avenue, and 813 Dutch Hall Road.
Second.
There's been a motion by Councilwoman Thompson to declare the following vacant lots as excess property: 136 8th Street, 2105 Fletcher Avenue, 125 Marks Road, 215 West Virginia Avenue, and 813 Dutch Hollow Road. Seconded by Councilman Hudson. Any further comments, clarifications? For the record, as we discussed in the finance committee meeting, this is the first step that's necessary to go through the disposal property and put this property back on the market for development or use by someone who wants to develop these lots, either as extension of their lots or to build another structure. So this is the first phase, is declaring it as excess property. Any other comments? Being none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. Abstention, none. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is advertise vacant lots for sale.
I make a motion that we approve to advertise the following vacant lots for sale by closed bid. 136 8th Street, 2105 Fletcher Avenue, 125 Marks Road, 215 West Virginia Avenue, and 813 Dutch Hall Road.
Second.
There's been a motion by Councilwoman Thompson to approve to advertise the following vacant lots for sale by closed bid. 136 8th Street, 2105 Fletcher Avenue, 125 Marks Road, 215 West Virginia Avenue, 813 Dutch Hollow Road. Seconded by Councilman Hudson. Any further comments or clarifications?
Just wanted to say, a lot of these were from vacant properties that needed to be torn down, and now they have been torn down, and hopefully it will give the opportunity for someone to develop and or to use that property instead of being a nuisance in the local neighborhoods. Thank you.
You're welcome. There are 2 new houses on property.
I know, and I'm impressed. And it helps the East End. Thank you.
Any further comments? Being none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Abstentions, none. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is approval of lighting for the city park shelter.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve the purchase of the 24 4-foot LED light fixtures for City Park Shelter at the cost of $50 each, with miscellaneous electrical items for the total cost of $1,500.
Second.
There's been a motion by Councilwoman August to approve the purchase of 24 4-foot LED light fixtures for city park shelter at a cost of $50 each, with miscellaneous electrical items for a total cost of $1,500. Any further comments, questions, or clarification? Being none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? No. Abstentions? None. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is the volleyball net and pole.
Make a motion to approve the volleyball net and pole system. Cost not to exceed $2,200.
Second.
There's been a motion by Councilman Hughes to approve the purchase of the volleyball net and pole system. Cost not to exceed $2,200. Seconded by Councilwoman Thompson. Any comments, clarification? Being none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. Abstentions, none. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is basketball backboard.
I'd like to make a motion, we approve the purchase of basketball backboard and pole system at a cost not to exceed $2,000 to be permanently installed.
Second.
How much?
Like the second.
Thank you.
How much was it cost?
2,000.
There's been a motion by Councilman Fleshman to approve the purchase of a basketball background and pole system to be permanently mounted at a cost not to exceed $2,000, seconded by Councilman Scipio. Any further comments, Questions or clarifications? Being none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Abstentions, none. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is purchase of a youth mobile basketball backboard.
I make a motion, we, purchase a youth mobile basketball, hole and backboard system at a cost not to exceed $430.
Second.
There's been a motion by Councilman Hughes to approve the purchase of a youth mobile basketball backboard control system at a cost not to exceed $430, seconded by Councilman Hudson. Any comments, questions, clarifications? Being none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Abstentions, none. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is purchase of playground equipment.
I'll make a motion that we approve the purchase of playground equipment not to exceed $12,900, which includes shipping.
I'll second.
There's been a motion by Councilman Scipio to purchase playground equipment at a cost not to exceed $12,900, which includes shipping. Seconded by Councilman Arnott. Any comments, clarifications, questions? Being none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Abstentions, none. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is purchase playground impact pad.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the purchase of playground snap together impact padding at a cost not to exceed $8,970.
Second.
To be put around the playground equipment for safety of the children.
Again.
You didn't let me finish.
He wants it done.
Councilman Fleshman moved to approve the purchase of playground snap together impact padding at a cost not to exceed $8,970 to be placed around the new playground equipment for the safety of the children. It was seconded by Councilman Scipio. Any further comments, clarifications, or?
Mr. Chairman, referencing back again to finance, we discussed, as you clarified, these kind of go together, the playground and the impact padding, not only for safety, but to make it more compliant with ADA. Not that it's fully compliant, but at least make it easier for those with limitations to be able to get in and participate.
Any further comments?
I think it totals up to about $22,000 that we've invested in the city park. And I just want to say I'm grateful that we're investing in our local city park.
Any further comments? Being none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Abstentions, none. I think going through all these items, as Councilwoman Thompson said, that we've been making significant renovations to the old pool up at City Park, converted to a reunion style shelter, so it'll be probably have 20 picnic tables, serving area. You'll have a playground, as you've seen from tonight, for the kids to play. There'll be basketball hoop, and we'll be putting in a sand volleyball court up there. Plenty of room for cornhole and a nice grass area for people to be out and playing in. So I think it's going to be a wonderful addition to the city of Dunbar park system. Okay. Next item on the agenda is Curus dual-use auger system.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve the purchase of the Curus dual-use fogger, the Curus trigger sprayer, 12 gallons of peroxide disinfectant, and Curus decontamination app and iPad at a cost not to exceed $30,000.
Second.
There's been a motion to approve the purchase of the Curus dual-use fogger, Curus trigger sprayer, 12 gallons of peroxide disinfectant, and Curus decontamination app and iPad at a cost not to exceed $30,000. Seconded by Councilwoman Thompson. Any further discussion, comments, or clarification?
Mr. Chairman, do you care to share, as you did great at the last meeting, why? Because somebody just watching may wonder why we're spending $30,000, but it has a significant impact on the health of our employees in the future. If you wouldn't mind, just share that.
We've been concerned about making sure that the facility at the rec center is safe for the children participating in the youth basketball program, to ensure that the facility is disinfected after each practice or after each game, so that they can come back into a healthy environment each time that they come into the rec center. So this is the same equipment that the National Guard has been using in large areas, go in for decontamination when there's a COVID outbreak. But this is a defense system, not an after the incident system. So this is to go in and disinfect and clean the area. With the wand sprayer, we can disinfect vehicles that we transport seniors in, so that'll make it more viable and safer to transport the seniors when we get back into the transport season. We can use it in all of our city offices and facilities and vehicles for disinfection. So it has multiple uses, and as we come to find out, it also kills bed bugs. So it's
Multifunctional.
It's multifunctional, and I think given some of the incidents that we have, I think it'll prevent having to have lengthy shutdowns of facilities when we have some incident happen or whatever. So it's more of a defense purchase as opposed to an offensive purchase.
And money's coming from?
We will submit it for reimbursement under the CARES Act.
Thank you.
Any further comments, clarification? Being none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Abstentions, none. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is asbestos removal.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion that we award a contract to remove asbestos from 125 Marks Road prior to the demolition by RS Environmental in the amount not to exceed $2,400.
Second.
There's been a motion by Councilman Fleshman to approve the award of contract to remove asbestos from 125 Marks Road prior to demolition to RMS Environmental in an amount not to exceed $2,400. Seconded by Councilwoman August. Any further comments or clarifications? We've waited a long time to get clear title to the property, and we have clear title to it now, so we can proceed with the demolition. Once that demolition is done, there's a drain that runs beside that property that we need to remove this house before we can get access to do the repairs on the drain. So once we have demolished the house, repaired the drain, then the lot will be, as declared earlier, has been declared as excess property and will be put out for sale once we get everything cleaned up that we need to clean up with the property. So, any other comments or? Did I already take a vote?
No.
Okay. All right. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? No. Abstentions? None. All but 2 votes.
I wasn't just saying.
Okay. You need to give me the, calm down. Next.
I'd say something, Carl, you gave me a dirty look.
Next on the agenda will be reports from officers and committees. Chief Moss.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. First, I want to thank Chief Wolf and Captain Hughes for the reserves that were out for Halloween. I believe they had 7 out and 2 were on bikes. Had a lot of comments about the bikes being out that night. And they just outfitted them with lights and everything. It was really nice. And it was obviously appreciated having 7 different people out. It's a big impact on what we can do. We received the Governor's Highway Safety grant for a little over $5,000 this year. It's something we've always gotten. It's a reimbursable type thing for traffic enforcement. But this year they're going to allow us to use some of that money for work zone, even if it's city work zone. So if Scott's crew's or Hughes got a crew out, or even Bernie, we could go do traffic enforcement around that work zone on their time, not ours. So keep that in mind if you have something coming up next couple of months or whatever. Our drug take back, I know we advertised pretty much for all of October. DEA was just doing October 24th, but for the whole month we collected 2 copier paper boxes full of a lot of prescription medications, over the counter, dietary supplements, aspirin, kind of ran the gamut of everything, but we was really pleased with that, to have 2 copier and paper boxes of narcotics that won't be illegally used, sold, stolen, flushed down the sewage system or anything like that. So I'll take any questions if anybody has any. Yes, ma'am.
I said in my area on Halloween night, and I was impressed. I mean, it was on
The bikes,
the bikes.
the
Yes,
solid
sir.
bikes. That was Mr. Tucker and Mr. Knoll. They're both sergeants. So.
They work in my area, and the kids were impressed.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
While we're on the Halloween thing, I was kind of pleased that the way it happened this year was Saturday. I think everybody was apprehensive, but it started at 5 o'clock and was, I think the kids were pretty much done by 6:30, but lasted till 7. It was daylight. I think seemed to be a whole lot safer. Parents weren't rushing to get home from work, coming home grumpy to grab their kids to take out and create a bad start. So I think overall it turned out really nice. We had a pretty good turnout in my neighborhood. I don't know about the rest of it.
We had about 250 and 300 kids on.
That's a bunch.
It was almost every day.
Now, one of our local businesses donated Frosty coupon books that were given to the police and the reserves, and as they drove through the community, they were passing out the coupons for Frosties. Councilman Hughes, you might want to address that.
I just, there was over 300 of them that we passed out through the reserves, and a couple of police officers gave each one. Each kid had 5 free Frosties in each one of them, and they thoroughly enjoyed that. The police, for one, said also community policing, getting involved with all the people in the streets.
Yeah, those came from Core Maine. They've been a big supporter.
Rich Quarter down, Maine, Core Maine. Yeah.
Core Maine. And they've been a big supporter of all of our activities here in the city of Dunbar for the last several years. Fire Chief, that's Chief Thornhill.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Short and sweet tonight. I can't give you any call volume numbers because FEMA decided this would be a good time to shut down our NIFR reporting system and revamp the whole system. So everybody in the state of West Virginia is shut down. We can't enter any call data. So I can't generate the call data to give to you all for the month of October. What I can tell you is following meetings that I told you all about that we had that released the fire department I can to more minutes because I can tell you that the fire department calls have doubled in respect to that. So probably around that 100 mark, 100 calls within the city last month. Don't hold me to that. I can tell you we're double what we were doing. And things are picking up just because we're now helping people that are not necessarily life, death, injured, but just injured or needing help. And this time of year, the call volume ticks up. So as it gets colder, that will happen. As soon as we can get those reports back, I'll make sure to get back and get you updated, which lays into being able to report to the city our numbers for the numbers you collect. I'll get that to you absolutely as soon as I can. Everybody in West Virginia is going to have that same problem. The testing that we're doing for the fire department is this Saturday morning. And it starts at 9 a.m. and we're starting at Shawnee Park with the physical agility test. So anyone wants to come down witness that and see the candidates that'll be before you. We have 21 candidates that turned in everything they had to turn in and did everything right. So 21 hopefully will show up and be tested. And out of the candidates that passed that physical test, we'll give them a break. Then we're going to move to the rec center following that, do the written test. So we will have a certified list by the Civil Service Commission that day. So then starting next week, they will be drafting to the mayor 3 names recommended for replacement. So we'll move that along as quickly as we can on that side. Remind everybody about burning after 5 p.m. this time of year. That's the law. After 5 p.m. Make sure and call the fire department if you're going to do burning in your yard. Get a permit from us that tells us what's going on. The thermal camera I brought here last week, we actually received the other one the next day. So, and we're waiting on the 2 others that were bonus package that are shipped. We don't have them yet. And that was the community fire department's agreement to purchase the others. They are purchased. They're there at the fire station. We had training scheduled for next week for all the fire department guys and the company that sold us the cameras. Just coming in and we're training everybody. So that's all I have, other than the digital sign at 10th Street. I know it reads Fahrenheit 0. It's had a, we have a data link problem that we narrowed down, I believe, to an Ethernet problem at the fire station. Part was ordered today. Hopefully we'll correct that Wednesday. Right now I can't program much on the sign and it's doing some weird things. So hopefully Wednesday I'll have that corrected. That's all I have. I'll take anyone's questions.
We're supposed to change our batteries in our smoke detectors.
You should have done that Saturday.
Right.
Yeah. Yes, change your, if you haven't, check your smoke detectors that don't have the 10-year batteries in them. Most of them now when you buy them, they have a 10-year lifespan. If you don't, check those, but more importantly, don't forget to check your CO batteries. If you have a natural gas furnace, stove, anything like that in your home too, you should have a, that CO alarm is just as important as a fire smoke detector.
Chief, you could.
Yes. No, go ahead.
So if I understood your timeline right, pending that there's a good turnout Saturday, and then several pass. And if everything goes properly, the mayor should have it, so it could be by the next meeting in November to look at new hires, if everything goes right in your
If
testing.
everything goes correctly, I can tell you the commission In my conversation today, we wanted to make sure that they could get something to the mayor next week.
That's what I understood. I was just making sure I understood correctly.
But there's a lot of things hinge on that. There's some background things that will have, checks will have to be done. And, but it is their goal to get the information to the mayor as quickly as they can. So, if nothing weird happens,
It's 2020.
we should be able to get moving pretty quickly once we have that.
I don't really have a question. I like, it's more of an inquiry, I guess. Before the civil service, fire department civil service sets a date for another new hire test, don't you think it'd be good if they checked with the other cities around us? Because Nitro's going theirs exactly the same day. And I've had 3 young guys talk to me that wanted to take the test for both departments, but they couldn't do it.
Well, I can tell you ours was scheduled over 2 months ago. Theirs was scheduled after ours was scheduled.
Oh, well, okay, then you can control it.
I can tell you that.
Okay.
Now, we didn't necessarily put that information out there to the public. We didn't want to get out there before the hiring ad and the applications went out.
Well,
That decision was made.
You can't do anything about
That
it.
decision was actually made, and the mayor was present at that meeting. That's been some time back when we made that decision. That was prior to them, and there's actually another agency doing testing the same day. It was just a day everybody picked, by pure circumstance.
Any other questions for Chief Thornhill? Well, I guess I just texted Matt and asked him why he wasn't here today. Bernie wasn't here, so I don't know why Matt's not here. So I just texted him, what know where he was. So nobody from the sanitary board. I can report to you that they did send all the letters out to people that were on the books that had a delinquency listed between March 1st and July the 31st. They did receive a packet to file to get money to pay those delinquencies. It does not reimburse you for paying bills. It only pays for a delinquent bill you have not paid. And that's all gone out. And I haven't gotten a report back yet if they've gotten any information back yet from individuals who actually gone through the submittal process. It'll come back to the sanitary board, and they will in turn send it through to the CARES Act people, and they will do their evaluation, and then they will reimburse the sanitary board the money, and it will be applied to their bill. Now, if they've made a payment subsequent to that money coming in from the CARES Act, we have to send the money back to CARES Act. It can't be used to credit toward a future bill. It has to be an outstanding bill. So that is in the works. Okay, next on the agenda, unless you all have some questions on it. Any sanitary board questions? We did order the new camera. I think that was one of the pieces of equipment that may have had some question about. They haven't been able to scope some lines because the small push camera was broken. They just, at the last meeting, we did approve them to purchase and get that. So it's on order, and we should have that in pretty soon. So they will be able to do the smaller 4-inch lines with the push camera. If there's nothing else, Mr. Leishman.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. Connie, if you would, please make sure their DVR set up for satellite. We don't want to miss their soap stories running calls. Steven's Drive is done. You should all go take a look at it. Those people did an awesome job in 1 week. They tore the street out, put new pipe in, batted it, concreted it, and cleaned it up today, and are out. It is fantastic.
Looks great.
Wonderful
Was
work.
that 1 week, did you say?
1 week. 1 week. We've got 2 houses that are almost finished, like I was telling Connie about, on property we sold. Those guys are starting 2 more houses in a couple of weeks, up behind the, the pawn shop out there on Wells on Moran, actually. The pawn shop's on, right. They're gonna build 2 new houses on Moran Avenue. And, are looking at probably purchasing Marsh Road when we're done with it. They found a nice single-story, 3-bedroom house that's well suited for, anybody wants a 3-bedroom flat house. So they're building several of them. It'll probably be a little over 100,000 piece finished. I've sent out requests to get the walnut tree trimmed. I haven't gotten any quotes back yet. Stumps are done on 18th Street. The trees are cut down on Rose Cut. Stumps done over there. We'll try and get some more vehicles out this week on the auction. Scott said we only have 4 left to go. So far this year, and we've been banging on the permits. And since July 1st, we've issued 138 permits for permitted work of $2,799,189, and we've collected a little over $25,000 in permits. We're doing pretty good there. Progress is doing a big upgrade right now, or we're starting yet. It's $200-some thousand. So we've had some pretty good sized projects, Top and Bell and things like that. So we're doing pretty well in building. Anything else to go on? I'll take any questions anybody's got.
You said Kroger's doing an upgrade. I've heard the rumor going around that somebody started, the Kroger's still building an addition onto that building. Has anybody heard anything about that?
I've not.
I didn't know which way they could go with it.
Yeah. What they've done so far is, we've had problems with their grease, putting in the sewer. So when they submitted their plans for the new renovation, I told them it was conditional on the new grease trap, which we've got installed now. But come to find out, when we put the grease trap in and was hooking it up, the lines were so greasy, he has to go in there and cut out some lines and replace them to get the grease to the grease trap. So doing that, and then they're going in and redoing the deli area. I think some of the meat cutting area. They're not really changing a lot. I think they're just updating some things like that.
Yeah. That was just a rumor I heard. So I was asking.
I know a lot of people said when they build a new swamp mall over here, they're going to build a yuppie Kroger's over there. I talked to 3 different Kroger managers about that, and all of them assured me that was not going to happen. Now, they're not in Roanoke, so they can't ultimately make that decision, but they were all pretty adamant about that wasn't going to happen. Hopefully we won't lose our Kroger. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Mr. Jones?
Thank you, Mayor Council. As y'all saw, the mohawk is done. Now it's leaf season down there, and there are down to just 1 mower right now. We had a problem go on with Frank's for the linkage and the carburetor. Those parts won't be in probably about next week, so we're working with 1 mower. So it's gonna take a little time trying to get all them leaves mulched up and keep them out of that drain. So we're gonna have a backup where on King Street. Ordered the banners and the plaques for the Christmas parade, which is on the 4th. They have came in. We got about 7 entries so far for the parade. I got one cat that sent me one, emailed me one today. I got a contact back. Still trying to get a tax problem on the home decorating contest ornaments that we're doing. Other than that, we're just still trying to get out, get some more of this leaves done, and guys are staying out. I got, a couple of them taking vacation in the next week or so. Bitty ball's getting ready to start, so we're gonna be up and going back in the building and trying to keep everything sanitized and going. Other than that, I don't have anything else.
Any questions for Mr. Bowman? Okay. Mr. Elliott?
Mayor, council, we had delivery of the new garbage truck on Friday. We picked up the new salt spreader, or I picked up the new salt spreader today. It's gonna be working great. As he said, Stevens Drive is complete. We're starting work on Westmoreland Drive on Wednesday after the trash runs. I don't know if I can get it done in a week's time, but we're gonna try to do it as quick as we can. With that said, our leaf/chipper truck went down on Friday. It's at the shop getting worked on as we speak. The DEF notification came on and it locked it down to 5 miles an hour. So as soon as it gets back, we'll have it back out here. I'm sending people out with trucks right now to pick up the limbs. We're going to be putting it right into the leaf action as quick as possible. I have to get, Lower Midway Drive, some chipping done up there. I don't know. I'm looking to see if we can chip it and put it back up on a bank instead of trying, so I can get all that chipped up.
Yeah, you can blow it back on the bank.
Right. And then I put a bench out there on Lower Midway today for a request of the neighbors out there. I think that's about it. I'll take anybody's questions.
So you got the chipper fixed and it's running now?
The chipper is running. The truck to haul the chips is not.
Well, I thank you for how quick you all picked up all that mess in the 400 block alley.
I just need to know if there's an issue and it's bothering somebody, they can call me at any time.
Well, I appreciate it, because there's a bunch of people piled limbs out there and had to call the city or anything. Scott, 15th and Myers.
Yes, sir. The manhole?
No,
Okay.
no. That's the one where the playground is. We got two at the entrance on 15th Street next to the Presbyterian Church. You've got a street sign and somebody put a stop sign directly in front of it.
I'll check it first thing.
One of them's gonna be moved, you can't.
Yeah, I'll check it first thing in the morning. I haven't had a chance to look around those. We've had a lot of signs that's been hit by tractor trailer trucks and knocked over and pushed over. And we will, we've been trying to take care of those as quick as we can.
We've got signs every place. I caught a bunch of kids down here on Myers and 16. Whole 3 or 4 of them was getting on those poles and pulling sideways. One of them was far out. It was in the lane of traffic. And I tried to catch them. I was gonna call the police on them, but they're doing that all over just in Dunbar. Pulling the signs over sideways.
They keep doing that, Scott. Get some extra heavy steel pipe for the signposts. They
Concrete, man.
won't pull them over.
Yeah, this one's not pulled up.
Right.
Straight side, so.
I'll do it fixed first thing.
Thank you for getting the hole in front of First Baptist paved.
It's finally, other than, I drove one road the other day, the state road had told us that they were gonna patch. They didn't come in a patch, so we're done with everything in the town except for Wilson Street. Probably we're gonna have to go get some if we want to and fix the holes down through Wilson Street. There's quite a bit of water down through there. I went down through there Saturday. So,
Thank you.
yes, ma'am.
Anything else for the department heads?
The full roof should be in within 2 weeks,
Be installed?
be installed. Oh, yeah, right.
With that, we will start with Mr. Wolf.
I'm good, Mayor. Thank you.
Said my part. Thank you. Tomorrow is election day. Go out and vote.
as my dad would tell me, or tell anyone, if you don't vote, you can't complain.
Good, sir.
Ms. Connie?
Anything I wanted to ask the chief was, has Bud got a permit to burn his firearm?
Yes, I do.
He does contact me
Does he?
quite frequently.
See, I am a good citizen. Believe it or not, that's like.
Hey, people are burning burn pits, do they need to call?
We recommend yes, any burning.
That's what I've been telling them.
And that's what I.
Like, you have a big burn permit for a burn pit out in the
No. Because every time you do that, you get right there for days. But yeah, anytime there's a burn, we're not gonna go around and try to tell people they can't burn in a burn pit. But the reason we want this is because some people don't understand the size of a burn pit. And people need to understand that if it's dry conditions, winds blowing hard, things like that, that gives us an opportunity to say, hey, maybe, wait for the next day. So any burning whatsoever, we request you call the fire department, let us know.
Sir.
Just to, again, as Connie Thompson mentioned, tomorrow's election, and it appears by statistics that about 40% of all registered voters for a city, which means probably about 50% of realistic voters have already voted. So we thank those people for exercising that civic duty, and we encourage, as she mentioned, the other 50 to 60% to take care of tomorrow. And it's always discouraging when you look back each election and see registered voters and actual voters and the big gap there. So just encourage everybody that has not yet with absentee or early to go out tomorrow.
Mr. Doug?
I did do what Connie said, tomorrow's election day for federal, county, state, and city. Everybody go out and vote.
Mike?
I'm good.
Mr. Steve?
I have one question I should ask, Police Chief Moss. Over on West Virginia Avenue near 1415th Street, there's a large motorhome that's been parked on the street over it, completely blocks the stop sign.
It is, there's not supposed to be parked on the street,
Well,
period.
I haven't been over there for the last few days, but you may want to check on West Virginia Avenue,
We
1415th.
cited him before, and he moves it up in the driveway for a while, and he moves it back out.
Actually, under the new ordinance, that's not permitted.
Yeah, that's
The only
been
way they
mine.
can park it is either behind their house
We'll take
or
this out.
beside their house. You cannot park them on the street anymore.
Talking about with Judge Harvey used to live.
Yes.
I'm not sure, but I know I had a resident call me and said they ran that stop sign one day, they didn't see it till it was already through the intersection because of that motorhome, so I just want to make sure.
I will stop parking it there if you told it once.
Yeah. That's all I've got. I appreciate everybody's
All right.
help on everything.
Being a somewhat good Democrat, I'll tell everybody to go out and vote often.
That's
All sites you can get on. Like Steve said.
Mr. Mayor, for the good of the order, if there's no other city business, I move that we adjourn this meeting. Second.
I didn't think it was going up.